DICE just dropped the mic with an incredible looking map for Battlefield 6. They confirmed 7 new maps are coming this year, including a Wake Island remake, rank mode for RedSec, a persistent server browser, spectator mode, platoons, proximity chat, and a ton more. If you were on the fence or disappointed by the post-launch content for Battlefield 6, it looks like the devs have been paying attention and are planning to deliver just about everything we've been asking for. Let's get into the details. So, the roadmap has a ton of content, but let's start off with Season 3, which drops next month. It includes a heavily updated new Golmud railway map back from Battlefield 4, and a map inspired by Grand Bazaar. That's one of my favorite maps from Battlefield 3. So Golmud has been reimagined as Railway to Golmud, and it features several new points of interest with an overhauled layout. Naturally, the moving train capture point is returning, which looks awesome and was always one of the cooler parts of the map. And DICE reiterated the actual size of this map, saying that it's actually 4 times bigger than the current biggest map in the game. So anyone complaining about map sizes from Battlefield 6, this one should certainly scratch that itch. Now, if I'm being totally honest, I wasn't all that excited about Golmud Railway because I didn't really dig that map that much, just because it's never been one of my top favorite maps. That said, looking at the remake here, it looks like they've made extensive changes to the map. I might be skeptical of how much of changes they've made, but because it was never my favorite map and I didn't really like it that much, I'm actually kind of excited to see how many more new buildings and cover and all that stuff has been added here. Now, as for the spiritual successor to Grand Bazaar, that's being remade as Cairo Bazaar, and it features a denser urban layout with more destruction. Unfortunately, the trailer and the roadmap are a bit light on the details for this one, but it looks pretty impressive from a visual standpoint, and Grand Bazaar was one of my favorite maps from back in Battlefield 3, and so I imagine it'll play pretty well in Battlefield 6. And alongside Season 3, RedSec is getting a rank mode and leaderboards plus solo matchmaking. Now, to be honest, I haven't really played RedSec quite a while. It's not really my thing. I think Battlefield should stay away from battle royales personally. Actually, I think it's pretty competitive battle royale, but it's not really a Battlefield thing. Now, when it comes to Season 4, that's going to be launching in July, and it will finally bring naval warfare to Battlefield 6 with a new map called Suru Reef and a remake of Battlefield's most iconic map, Wake Island. Both maps look absolutely massive and are going to feature dynamic ocean waves to mix up the naval combat, similar to Partial Storm from Battlefield 4, which is definitely one of the fan favorite maps, especially because of all the cool waves in naval warfare. The concept art for Suru Reef also has what looks like the main building from the Hainan Resort map, and it's surrounded by what looks like a similar layout to that map. So maybe it's some sort of a spiritual remake to Hainan Resort. It's hard to say. The roadmap also says the season will offer custom lobbies and a spectator mode as well. So I'd expect that we'd finally get the ability to host more unique game modes outside of Portal server browser. And once again, this season will also include new weapons and modes. And just to confirm some of the additional naval features that were shown in the trailer, we see rib boards, attack boards, and even aircraft carriers spotted throughout. It looks like the carrier might just be a spawn point or an HQ for the teams, but they do feature it pretty heavily, which might mean there's an objective area inside of it or something. DICE in the past has certainly made the interior of carriers and large ships part of the combat experience. Now, of course, I'm a huge fan of the map Wake Island, and I really do like the tradition of DICE remaking the map in so many of the Battlefield titles. Personally, I'd like to see it in every single Battlefield game if they can find an excuse to do it. The remake looks really cool. I'm always excited to see a new iteration of this map. It certainly holds a lot of nostalgic value for me. Now, Season 5 details were not announced aside from this teaser image. Speculation suggests that this could be hinting at a remake of maybe Siege of Shanghai or Dawnbreaker from Battlefield 4, because that's what the reflection looks like. Siege of Shanghai would definitely be a heavy hitter, and I mean, it was basically the main marketing feature of Battlefield 4 for a long time. So dropping that in Battlefield 6 would be a smart play in my opinion. The other small but important detail was that Season 5 is bringing 3 maps instead of the standard 2, which in my opinion is a pretty big upgrade. I think they should have 3 maps by standard for all seasons. If that would become the new standard moving forward, I think that would be a huge for the general content rollout. Now, alongside all of these 3 maps and features, DICE are also going back to the game's existing maps with the rework of New Sobek City and Blackwell Fields, which definitely needs a rework. So I'm actually a huge fan of DICE going back and reworking maps, especially when there's some bigger pain points on the map rotation. If everybody gives a general side when, say, Blackwell Fields or New Sobek City shows up in the rotation, or servers start or drop out, then yeah, why sit with that when you don't have to go back, update it, make the whole rotation good? It'll be better for overall health of the game and keeping players in and having fun. Now, as for a lot of side features coming into the game, it's cool. The persistent servers and stuff, I'm really curious to see how this sort of integrates with the existing UI. I know players don't really like the current matchmaking UI, and getting persistent servers and custom map rotations and that kind of stuff into the front end screen would be really cool. It could help develop those communities that think people are missing. And speaking of communities, the platoon system, which will also be coming back, has been a fantastic system for establishing communities of friends who want to jump on and play with each other in such a more in a more organized way that shows that what your platoon's up to, where they're playing, and just gives you a nice group of players to jump in with whenever you want. And now when it comes to the proximity chat, I know a lot of people have been asking for this feature. I do not like DICE is adding this to this game. I'm a little skeptical as to how it will play out. It's very interesting where game culture seems to sort of dictate how much proximity chat is used and how much you can actually talk to people and work with them and stuff. But I do love the idea of being able to use it to coordinate with people around me. And you know, it might vary from server to server how much people are using it, but having that option is definitely going to be an upgrade. Fantastic for when you just need to get attention to a random player. As a huge win for both DICE and players, it shows that DICE has been listening to people. It shows that they're going to be adding a lot of features that we've been asking for all this while. It's entirely possible that not all of those features will live up to our expectations, but we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, I think Battlefield completely dropped a huge nuclear bomb with this update, and I'm absolutely excited for what is coming up in the next couple of months and this entire year. Definitely very, very excited for this. I hope you guys are excited too. Pretty sure that you guys are excited as well. What do you guys think about this update? Drop a comment in the comment section, drop a like, smash that like button, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.